Hi, this is Simon Candy from AcousticGuitarLessonsOnline.net, and in today's video you are going to learn the Bossa Nova finger picking pattern on guitar. Now this pattern is a very cool sound and it's very common. It's a whole genre within itself and it can be found in famous tunes including Corcovado, on Green Dolphin Street and the Girl From Ipanema. Now the key thing with this pattern is the rhythm, so we're going to be looking at that in particular today. Now in this lesson we will break this pattern down to its finest elements and we'll look at very effective strategies and methods for getting the groove and the feel of the pattern down, which is also important. Then we'll put it into some actual chord progressions so you can get it into your playing. So let's get to it. Let's begin by having a listen to the sound of the Bossa Nova fingerpicking pattern. So I'm going to demonstrate it to you on a B7 chord. So if you think of the B7 chord, like standard B7 open chord, we're going to play just the lower three strings of that. So it's going to be my thumb on the 5th string, my index on the 4th string, and my middle on the 3rd string. So we're just playing the lower three strings of the B7 chord. And the Bossa Nova pattern sounds like this. Okay, you can also alternate the bass, so that would sound like this. Okay, so that's the Bossa Nova feel, very cool, but the rhythm is all important and we're going to get to that in a moment. But just to break down what's going on there to begin, the thumb is always going to play the bass on beats 1 and 3. So a big thing with finger picking is getting the independence between the thumb and the fingers. It's very important because they're kind of separate entities. So there's two parts happening here and I want to break it down so you can sort of hear the two parts. The bass is simply doing this: 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just on the half beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you want to alternate it, then it would be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just dropping the second finger down to the F sharp, the 5th of the B7 chord. Now I would highly recommend you stick to just the root note B for your bass to begin. That's going to be a lot easier, and then you can work on the alternating bass. The other part is what we'll just call the chord, just to label the parts here. We've got the bass and then the chord, little harmony there, okay, within the B7 chord. And this is the thing with Bossa Nova, it's a very syncopated feel. A lot of it's happening on the upbeats. So this part is going 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, 4. So you can see how, or hear, hopefully, how we're on the beat initially, and then we've got 4 off beats, and then we're back on the beat. So the cycle, if you like, the sequence is on, and then off, 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 and then back on. Okay, I didn't do it to time then, but just to demonstrate the sequence: on, off, 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 on. So it's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, 4. What you might be hearing there is there's a little bit of an accent on some of these beats. I'm applying a staccato approach on the 1, the and of 3, and of 1 of the next bar. So it's accent, 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 and we get the accent by staccato, which means when you hit on that particular part of the chord, you relax the fingers. So it's a sort of short, sharp stab. It's not ringing it out. If I did it without that, it'd sound a little flat. It'd sound like this. Okay, that's all correct, but with the staccato, right, there's a little bit more of a bounce. 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. So let's just look at the rhythm. It's the most important part, okay? So we've got to get a feel for the offbeats because, as I said, it's a very syncopated pattern with a lot of the attacks happening on the offbeat. So if you get a metronome and you have it ticking, 3, 4. You could just take this little part of the chord, so just the 1st and 2nd fret on the 4th and 3rd strings, so little part of our B7 open chord here, and practice with your index and your middle fingers plucking up on those notes on the offbeat. So to be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. So you could have a metronome ticking there. That would be preferable. Okay, so definitely metronome ticking for you, keeping a steady time at a, nothing too fast in terms of tempo, and then just simply plucking up on the offbeats. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so you'd have like click, 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 click. Right? That's my metronome for now, but hopefully you get the idea, right? That's not the pattern, but that's getting an element, a real essential element of the pattern down, that offbeat feel. You've got to be able to feel the upbeats there. So that said, then we've got to look more at the pattern. And as I was saying before, there's a sequence of 2 on the beat attacks, then you've got 4 off the beat, and then you finish the cycle with an additional on the beat attack. So here's one thing that you can do. You just simply take your hands, your right and your left hand, and we'll just begin by tapping an 8th note rhythm. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. So your right hand is the on beat, your left hand is the off beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Now we're going to put the accent where the attacks come with the pattern. So to begin, 1, 2. It's on the 1 and the 2. You've got 2 on beats that are being played. 1, 2. Then you've got a sequence of 4 off beats. So you're going to be accenting this hand. So it goes like this. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and. Right? Very slowly. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and. So you're either accenting this, the right hand, on the beat, or you're accenting the left hand on the off beat. You begin with 2 right hands, then 4 left hand attacks or accents. So again, like this, 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and. And then you finish by accenting the 4, the last on beat of the second bar. It's a 2-bar cycle. So 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, that's the 2-bar cycle. One playthrough of the 2-bar cycle. So again, 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. This is tricky. So I'm not saying this is super easy, but you can get it, and you can get it a lot sooner than what you might think you can if you take it very, very slowly. So when you're doing this, don't worry about keeping a strict time. Don't try and do it to the metronome at this point, at least. Just take your time, just keep a sort of free time and focus more on accenting the correct hands in that order. Right, left, 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 right, 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 left, 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 right. And when you loop it around, you'll feel like 3 in a row because it finishes with a right on the beat, and then it starts the cycle of the pattern again with 2 right hand accents on 1 and 2 of the next bar. So 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and down, and then again. Okay, and that's getting the. We've got the bass in there as well, but we're really focusing on this. Okay. So that's one approach. Here's another one you can do to help get this rhythm. And this one might be actually a little bit easier possibly for you. And you're simply going to do this. You're going to strum down, up. You can just use the back of your nails. You don't need to pick necessarily. And you're going to strum 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. But you're going to put the accent on the beats. The 2 on, 4 off, and then 1 on again to finish. So that would look and sound like this. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So you really want to accent the ones that we need to accent, and then in between lay off on the ones in between. So it's not just hitting harder on the accented beats, it's laying off on the ones that aren't accented and getting a bigger discrepancy or contrast between the two. Okay, so again. So on, off, 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 once you get that, you can eliminate the non-accented beats. So you're only going to hit, you're still going to have all the motions down, up, that's key. You've got to continually go down and up as you do with strumming, but you miss any of the non-accented beats, and that sounds like this. So if you keep that hand moving, that motor if you like, you won't lose your time. You'll know exactly where you need to hit when you're doing the accent. Not to say you're not going to make mistakes and break it down and all those things. Of course we need to do that. But this is going to really get the feel and the rhythm and the groove of Bossa Nova down. So one more time without the accented strums, but still all the motions. 1, 2, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. So let's look at applying this Bossa Nova pattern to a chord progression. And a very common one that you'll find in a lot of Bossa Nova music is a 2-5-1 chord progression. And we're going to play in the key of G here, and we're going to, the key of F. And we're going to start on the 2 chord, which is G minor. I'm going to play this, G minor 7. That's a common sort of jazzy chord shape, and you'll find it a lot in Bossa Nova music because it's very much related to jazz. Lots of common elements between the two genres. We're going to play this C9 chord, and we're going to play an F major 7 chord, and we're simply going to apply our pattern to it. We're going to be 1 bar on the G minor 7, 1 bar on the C9, and 2 bars on the F. Now it's a 2-bar repeating pattern, this finger picking pattern here. So we're going to share it between the G minor and the C9 chords. So we get, on the G minor 7, we get 1, 2, 3, and then the end of the 4 is going to be the first attack on the C9 chord, and it's going to be the strings 4, 3, 2. And then we come down with the bass note on the first beat of the second bar of the pattern. So it's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and... Okay, that's the completion of the pattern, and that's the G minor and C9 chords taken care of. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, 4. Okay, so the thumb is just playing on the beat like this. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 to the C, 2, 3, and then when we add the other, so you can still hear that bass just on 1 and 3, and we've got the bounce of the staccato. And then on the F major 7, it's 2 bars on this chord, so we have the full cycle of the pattern on that chord. So together it goes. So a very famous song that is in the Bossa Nova genre of music is called Corcovado. So I'm just going to show you the opening chord sequence here as, you know, something that you can practice to get this further into your playing. And it's actually going to cross over with our 2-5-1 that we just looked at in the key of F. So the chord shapes in the opening sort of 8 bars of this song, we're going to play an A minor 7 at the 5th fret here. Then we're going to go to an A flat diminished chord. So this is just simply moving down a fret. We've got the 4th fret on the bottom string, and we've got the 3rd, 4th and 5th frets on the 4th, 3rd and 2nd strings. So you've got this little chord shape up here, and then you add the bass with your 2nd finger. Then it goes to this 2-5-1 that we're just doing on G minor to C9 to F major 7. Now the chords, in terms of how long we're on each one for, we're on the A minor 7 for 2 bars, so we get 1 cycle of the pattern. We're on the A flat diminished also for 2 bars, so we get 1 full cycle of the pattern because it's a 2-bar pattern, of course. And then, like before, it's 1 bar on each of the G minor 7 C9, so you get 1 cycle shared between those 2 chords, and then 2 bars on F major 7 at the end, so 1 full cycle of the pattern. So it goes like this: 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 diminished, 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4, sharing here, and major 7. Okay, so once more on the A minor, A flat diminished, sharing here with G minor 7, C9, and F major 7. Okay, so that's a really nice sounding chord progression and a good one to further get this into your playing. If you like this video, you'll love this ebook complete with video examples called 10 melodic fingerpicking patterns you can learn in 10 minutes or less. Do you struggle to make the fingerpicking patterns you learn on guitar sound like music? Perhaps it's because you believe in one or more of these fingerpicking pattern myths. 1. You need to know a lot of patterns to have your fingerpicking sound musical. 2. Only advanced fingerpicking patterns sound musical. Easy patterns are too basic to sound any good. Or 3. There is a magic pattern out there somewhere that once found will finally have your fingerpicking sound the way you want it to. None of these myths are true. This is because fingerpicking patterns alone are not musical. They're technical. It's what you do with the patterns that will determine how musical they sound. In this ebook, you learn how to make the most boring fingerpicking patterns sound amazing instantly. Plus, the simple trick to make advanced fingerpicking patterns easier to play, and the thumb and one finger trick that's so simple and will have your fingerpicking sounding pro in no time. Click the link in the description below this video and download your free ebook complete with video examples, 10 melodic fingerpicking patterns you can learn in 10 minutes or less. You'll have it in your inbox within minutes. Let me know in the comments below what acoustic guitar topics you'd like to see covered in future videos. I'd love to hear from you. I read the comments and I do reply, so don't be shy, drop us a line. A lot of the things I have suggested to me do become videos, so if you want something, ask and you may just receive it. If you like this video, then hit that like button, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, and of course hit the notification bell button so YouTube can tell you when I've released a new video, which is every single week. Thank you so much for being here. This is Simon Candy from AcousticGuitarLessonsOnline.net. As always, I really do appreciate you taking the time to check out my videos. I hope they help you out, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.